YouTube. Oh, it's been a while since we've been live on this channel, so hello there. Yeah, if you found me here, welcome. Thank you for joining me. Let me know if everything's working okay. As I say, it's been a while since I've been live all through this way. And happy Keep Itsy Human Day. For those of you who don't know, I'm really surprised if you haven't heard of Starla and haven't heard of any of this, but this is Starla's initiative for all of us Itsy sellers to hashtag Keep Itsy Human. The basic thing is, this is not a hate on Etsy. We just want them to hear us, basically, because over the years, Etsy has made some missteps. And yeah, we don't want Etsy to fail. Too many of us have invested too much in Etsy, and the overall what the site was a great thing. It certainly can be a great thing, but there's some missteps that we would like heard. So if you haven't, today is the day. At Etsy and hashtag Keep Etsy Human all over all your socials, just with the little things that you find that you're struggling with Etsy, that you wish they hadn't done, you wish they would change, things that you're not happy with. This isn't a massive rant. This isn't a hating on Etsy, because the thing is, they're never going to listen if we just yell. This is not a strike. This is not a threatening. But now I know some people are going to say that basically Etsy never listens. And it feels like it. If one person messages Etsy, if one person asks for a thing, then of course they don't listen. They're a huge business. They've got many sellers. One individual doesn't matter. However, it has been shown over the years when Etsy have rolled stuff out and enough people have said they have issues with it or whatever, Etsy has made changes. Etsy does listen if enough of us speak, and they're more likely to listen if we respectfully say what our problems are. Because at the end of the day, hopefully none of you hate Etsy and just want it to fail. If you do, you can leave Etsy. A part of the problem is to go where, because Etsy does have the monopoly on us crafty sellers, so that is a bit of a problem. But yeah, we don't want to tear into them. We don't want them to fail, but we do want them to improve things. So I'm going to spend this hour going over. I've released a few shorts over the week to talk about the things that I've heard or that I feel have been an issue from Etsy. So we'll go over some of the things from them. I might go over some of the comments I had of hashtag Keep Etsy Human in my YouTube videos. I had meant to be able to pull up the videos to show you on here, but it seems that I can't play shorts on a video. I can play normal videos, but we'll make it all happen. And then in the chat, if you have any issues you want to talk about, then bring them up here. We can talk about them. And then if you all go off to your social and at Etsy and hashtag Keep Etsy Human. And then this, if everything is set up okay, I think it is. This is the pre-show party for Starla's conversation on this. She has much more going on, much more in depth, yeah. She's the lady that started all of this. So when I finish this stream, everybody who's here will automatically go on to viewing her stream. That sounds creepy, but it should be an automatic kind of link, and it's, if you were on Twitch in the past, it's a raid. We're going to raid Starla, although probably most of you already know Starla and are just hanging out live. The other thing, I just wanted to do a big thank you to everybody. This is something I had planned, but it's coincided in a good week. I just want to say thank you for 20,000 subscribers. This is something at the beginning of, just about at the beginning of the month, I saw I was getting close to this round number on on YouTube. So I asked you guys if you could subscribe, and I kind of hoped by the end of the month we could get to 20,000 subscribers. It came in way quicker than I planned, and I thought, oh, I'll do a live stream to say thank you for that. Maybe do an Ask Me Anything, maybe shop reviews, that kind of thing. But it happened on this week on the hashtag Keep Etsy Human week. So I thought that's a good time. We get together. I can thank you all. We can talk. And we can do the Keep Etsy Human all together, all in one place. And it seems a few of you have found me already. So what I'll do, I'll just quickly go through the comments we already have, and then I'll start talking about some of the videos, some of the points that I've made, and we can discuss what we feel about them. And anytime, just let me know what your Keep Etsy Human moments are as well, and if you agree with me. And the thing is, not everything will be bad for everybody. There'll be some changes that I really hate that actually work for other people, and that's okay too. So having a difference of an opinion is a cool thing as well. So let's get into it. I know Starla joined us before we were live. Thank you, Starla. I have to say, I'm going to do this just now. I don't think she's on, so we can be nice about her. But Starla is absolutely as lovely as she seems to be. I'm so lucky to have a friend in Starla. As a YouTuber who's like way up there ahead of me and stuff, I would love to be able to dislike her. I'd love for her to be the competition, but she's just too blooming nice. Yeah. Anyway, so Starla was in at the beginning with her "It's party time" because this is our party. I am worn out and so lacking in sleep, so full of coffee. And if this looks disgusting, it kind of is. It's just a vitamin drink. I thought I would use it to get some energy, but it's a powdery thing, so it looks crusty. So apologies. But it's to keep the energy for me to do the party, so we can get nicely wound up in a good non-ranty way, because we're not going to shout at Etsy. We're going to respectfully I can't say things without sounding sarcastic, can I? But yeah, we're not going to get all wound up and ranty. We're going to get together to respectfully talk to Etsy. So anyway, Starla was on at the start, and as was Ginger. Oh, I forgot I should be able to. Yeah, I can. I forgot I can do this. So, Starla, it's party time. Yee. And we had Ginger, Couture Handmaids. I hope I'm saying that right. Keep Etsy Human. My last customer came back to my shop, admitted that he'd bought from other sellers with some very odd results. Yeah, there's some odd other sellers on there. There's loads of wonderful sellers, but unfortunately, as I'll talk about in my first thing, it's hard for them to get seen now. It's hard to find them. But he realized that what Ginger made was his favorite and best fitting. So that is very cool. We have Melissa. Hello there. There we go. They came up. Hello. Tech Perch. Yes, I'm live. Good to know. Because it wouldn't be the first time that I sat and talked for 10 minutes and then realized that YouTube wasn't working. Technology's great. And Nikki's in the house with a hello. Hi there, Nikki. And Kirsten, hey there. Oh, actually, a question. We're starting with a question. Pen and Pixel. Are you all posting on social from your business or personal accounts? Honestly, I'm afraid to post from my business account. I totally get it if you're afraid of things. Your personal account, if you want to, or your business account, I get it if people are worried. However, I will say, in my experience, Etsy isn't nasty, isn't out to get people who speak out. I'll say what my experience is, because the thing is, like, a lot of people call me an Etsy stan or something like that, of which I very much am not. If you check some of my videos, when they do bad, I talk about they do bad. But I worked last year for Etsy in the Etsy shop camp, where I was presenting for them and stuff. And when they contacted me, when they got in touch with me to ask me to do this, and they knew about me through my YouTube channel, I was making videos very loudly complaining about something that Etsy had done. So not only did they not punish my shop or anything, but they actually wanted me to come on. They were totally happy. I don't know if they were madly happy, but they didn't hold anything like that against me. I'm allowed to say what I want to say, like, my shop's not gonna die because of that. They don't take revenge on people. Um, but I totally get if you don't want to post from your business account. But for everyone who hasn't, I'm absolutely terrible on Instagram, but Starla is on Instagram just now reposting. I keep wanting to say retweeting. Retweeting doesn't exist even on the platform that was formerly known as Twitter, does it? So, yeah, so Starla's on there reposting your Keep Etsy human things. So, um, definitely you want to follow Starla, but at Etsy, they're not going to chase after you. But if you want to go from your personal account as well, that's absolutely fine too. Not everybody has a full lot of business accounts either. Um, Edward, thank you so much. That's awesome. Congrats, Pam. Thank you. The 20K on YouTube, 20,000 subscribers. I Probably most of us, when you watch YouTube, a lot of the things you see are from massive YouTubers. So you think if you don't have 20 million subscribers, you're a tiny thing. And there was a whole thing about imposter syndrome on the news when I was driving today, which is really interesting as well. It doesn't matter. When I had 100 subscribers on YouTube, I felt like a tiny channel. And I looked up to the people who had 1,000 subscribers and I thought they were amazing. When I had 1,000 subscribers, I felt like such a tiny channel. When I had 10, I don't think you ever feel like you're doing well until I stop and say, 20,000 people fills a really big stadium. So to everybody that clicked subscribe on me, that's actually pretty cool. Anyway, that's that's an aside, but I totally appreciate it. Yeah, we're doing a party for this too. Property by Ruby. Hey Pam, I like Etsy. However, I have issues with Etsy on the image listing size, which sound rushed, not very transparent on much data on upping the sales. Yeah, I there's a really good point in the middle there, which sound rushed. This is, I think, the latest short that I just put out um, on this YouTube channel was basically that. It feels to me that Etsy teams, and it's not the individuals in the team's fault. I get the feeling that to be able to say to the shareholders, we've made this number of changes, they have to make a number of changes and they're rushing things out before they're finished. A really great example was the app, the new app. It's good, but you don't have everything that was in the old app yet. So that should still, in my opinion, that should still be in beta. They should finish it. And then the new listings editor, there's the word, the new listings editor. There's loads of things like alt text. That is something Etsy gave us the ability to put alt text on images, what, over a year ago? And, this is a good thing. This helps visually impaired people. So it's a thing they gave us. And then they gave us the new listing editor and they're like, oh, we haven't done that yet. You can go back to the old thing if you want to do this. It's like, just nobody nobody was asking for a new listing editor. So it's fine to wait and not roll it out until it's actually done. So hashtag keep Etsy human. Don't force your teams into results aren't the number of changes you make. Results are the good changes you make. I hope that makes sense. Anyway, oh, Tech Perch, thank you so much. Pen and Pixel, good to know about the Etsy's not gonna hunt you down and hurt you. Definitely they're not going to do that. tech pitch, I feel Josh Silverman has brought eBay ethics to our handmade platform. It just doesn't work in the same way. He's missing how personally we take our creations. Yeah, I could be wrong. My memory's telling me that Josh came from Amazon, or he might have come from eBay, but he definitely came from one of these platforms. And it really does feel whatever eBay or Amazon does, they're wanting to put it into Etsy. And I suppose there we go. There's a big hashtag keep Etsy human. Is Etsy isn't eBay or Amazon. Etsy did so well when it started off. We all sort of everyone who joined in like early doors. I started in 2008. Etsy was barely a year old, and we were like, "Oh, it's like eBay," but it wasn't. It was very much not like eBay. It had its own unique selling point. This is why it grew so well, because it's something different from eBay. It has a unique selling point in that it was handmade people selling to people who loved handmade things. It's a very different thing. But then when you say, "Okay, we've grown so big, we're gonna take the ethos, we're gonna take the things that work from eBay and Amazon," it doesn't w it takes away that unique selling point that Etsy had. And the thing is, if you just try and copy what another platform's doing, it's the same as us as shops. If we just try and copy what somebody else is doing, and we don't have anything unique for ourselves, then we can only get as big as being smaller than them. But if we innovate, if we look at what's novel for us and work on the differences there, then we can get big in our own right. So, yeah, Etsy, stop trying to be eBay and Amazon. You're actually something better and cooler in its own right. Um, Bad and Pixel, I just recently found you and love your content and the way you say Etsy. Thank you so much. Yeah, for anyone who's new here, we have quite a few new people, so I'll just quickly cover this. I do say Etsy wrong. I'm aware I say Etsy wrong. I've tried to fix it. But what happens, as I say, I started on Etsy in 2008. Nobody I knew, I'm in the UK, nobody knew about Etsy. We saw an article in a newspaper. Someone had started selling there. Myself and my mum were crafty people, and we thought, hey, that would be cool. I just started needle felting, and I was getting overrun with small critters. I had lost my job, and it all sounded like good. It all came together, but we'd only seen it written down, and we saw it as a competition for eBay. So eBay, Etsy sounded sensible to me. And it was at the time, for everyone who missed the early days when Etsy was quite a different feeling place. Every time Etsy staff were asked where the name for Etsy came from, they made up a different answer, apparently. But I'd only heard the one answer, and what they'd said was they wanted Etsy to be like etc. etc. So to me, that made sense. If it's etc., how you would say that out loud is etc. Etsy. Made sense to me. It wasn't for years later that I learnt that it's supposed to be said Etsy. See, I have to stop and think about that. So I know I'm saying it wrong, but when you've been saying something wrong for a number of years, it's really difficult. When I try and stop and say it right, I say it wrong, and I still have to say it really slowly. So, yes, it's not some kind of weird affectation or something. I was just dumb. Well, not really. We didn't know how to say a made up word, and we said it wrong, basically. Uh, Kirsten, I love Etsy and don't ever want to move away from them, but I wish that sellers were treated as customers in the same way buyers are treated as customers. Yeah, one thing that I really loved when I started on Etsy was it was a real community. Myself and my mum, we used to spend hours in the forums just chatting to other crafters. And whenever I was buying things, you would just buy things from people that you chatted to in the forums. It was so cool. I guess these things still exist, but we used to the Etsy street teams were teams of we had needle felter team, we had animal lovers team, we had local the Scottish team, the Glasgow team. I know these kind of exist, but they just don't seem to be that kind of community that they used to be. It's hard to find them in the forums. It's just not pushed as much. So yeah, that was a real community, and Etsy staff were in the forums chatting to us as well. And now it's just like, no, we don't have time for you sellers. You just give us the money and we'll deal with the customers. Yeah. So hashtag keep Etsy human. Please bring back the community again. Like bring back that sense that artists are also the customers of Etsy. Bernadette, good morning. Good morning, Bernadette. Great to see you. Kirsten, something that bugged me the other day was the new discount via messages instead of email. It sent a customer, thanks for your order halfway through a conversation. Oh, yes. I haven't seen it, but I know that it's happened that Etsy are messaging out discounts. And people have told me that some of the discount things that are getting messaged out are like the thank you for your order, or you've put something in your basket or something. I'll get to that in a minute, actually. But the other thing, what that's doing is people are telling me it's sending it via messages. So if the person who's buying is also a seller, it is actually counting as a message from the seller, so they have to reply to it. I haven't seen one yet, so I haven't seen that, but people are telling me that that's the case, and that's absolutely stupid. It's an automated message, but it comes from the seller, which is so annoying. But I put a few of my friends' items in my cart to get to see about the mail out for the discount codes and stuff, and I didn't get a message from them. It's actually like 100 times worse. Every time I log into Etsy, there's a little pop-up on the side of the screen going, "Here's a discount, here's a discount," and you're like, "No, no, stop it, please stop it." It's just so annoying. Um, yeah, Kirsten, it seemed so rude to my end. Yeah, that's true because buyers who aren't sellers as well, in fact, even those of us who are, I haven't seen Etsy really announce clearly what they're doing here. So it feels like it it seems that the buyers are sending a ton of messages when they're not. Yeah. Oh, Pen and Vixel about my pronunciation of Etsy. I thought it was just your accent. Yeah, we can say that. Well, no, we can't say that's how Scottish people say Etsy because there's plenty of Scottish people that say it right. Um, Property by Ruby makes a lot of sense about the rush and abandon the old app and redevelop the new Etsy apps during the Etsy Up event. There is a mention of new seller handbook, and after May, no news. Oh, I missed that. A new seller handbook. That would be cool. As far as I know, the Etsy seller handbook, which everyone should be reading, it is cool. They do keep them updated, but it was 2018 that the Ultimate Guide to Search came out. They have been updating it, but yeah, a new one would be cool. I never thought, yes, the new app sort of, yeah, they are probably trying to rush it up for either for the Etsy Up event or for a shareholders announcement or something. But there did seem th- these kind of deadlines are false. They're not necessary. You can just say people are, working on it. Yeah. Um, but yeah, a new seller handbook would well, from my point of view, it'd be cool because that's tons of content for me to give you guys, which is great. But I don't think there's anything desperately new that Etsy can be telling us. I know people are always like, the algorithm's changed, and it hasn't really. It's tweaked, it's improved, it's yes, the biggest change is like personalizations to the search engine, but the algorithm the purpose of the algorithm has always remained the same, and it is to give the buyer the best item that it's most likely to buy. However, I hadn't I don't shop on Etsy as much as I should. And this is the thing with the whole hashtag keep Etsy human. This has sort of been like a death by a thousand paper cuts kind of thing because I've probably been a bit too Pollyanna with the changes, and I'm trying to keep positive because it is right, and some you just have to roll with changes. And I was seeing some changes weren't so good and everything. And I was trying to, put a good spin on it, but it's almost like you just keep getting knocked down, and it's like, okay, one bad thing is not a bad thing, but how many? And I hadn't noticed how bad the search had got. This is something we talked about with eRank and seeing what the keywords people were searching for is that buyers have started using the term handmade in the search that they never used to do. So there'd be like handmade necklace, handmade earrings. And once I started actually trying to search on Etsy for things a little bit more, I realized why is buyers are coming to Etsy. They're being told, here's this place for handmade stuff. And then they're coming and they're searching for something, and what they're seeing in the search results page is not handmade. They There's been articles in the media and everything about this, how the front page is stuff that's come from Wish, AliExpress. This is even like handmade furniture and things. And so, yeah, the Etsy search has got to the point where all of these people that can have 200 of a one thing that I looked at was shelves. Wooden shelves. This is a thing that is very easy for woodworkers to make. But there's so many shops opened up and they're selling wooden shelves, and you go and you have a look, and they've got like 500 of each listing in their shop because they're drop shipping. They're not actually creating it. So because they can do this kind of really high volume, and they probably have scuzzy tactics to have got the sales rolling in the first place, they are right there on the front page of Etsy. And the little handmade guy that takes, a full week to make his little bookshelf, he can't rank anymore. So the algorithm for favoring what gets the most sales isn't necessarily doing a good thing. Now, in the investors report, Josh sort of that you've got to read between the lines, but he did mention something about kind of collapsing down the search if there's lots of the same type of item. I imagine that's kind of like how Amazon do it. If you click on something and it'll say, oh, there's 10 more types of items like this. So yeah, cool. Apart from the fact that these things should, like, you don't need to collapse them down. They shouldn't be selling on Etsy in the first place. But yeah, it would be very nice for them not to all have the same place on the page. And I suppose it makes sense for like supply shops and things if it's the exact same item that, yeah, collapsed down that search. But yeah, that was my first short on the Keep Etsy Human is the Etsy search sucks, because unfortunately it really does need tweaking, and it needs tweaking for some way for the people who are coming to Etsy wanting to buy handmade stuff to be able to find handmade stuff. To be perfectly honest, if I want to buy cheap shelves that are mass produced, I go to Amazon because Amazon's going to ship them quicker. We shouldn't be coming to Etsy for that kind of thing. Um, anyway, rant. Trying not to rant. Where did I get to with the chat? Here we go. Created by AJF. Never change the way you say Etsy. um, Oh, Tech Perch. They have put alt text in the new listing editor now, and it's really easy to use. Oh, fantastic. I'm glad to hear that. And the new listing editor isn't a bad thing at all, but it should have been finished before it was launched or put into beta, and it's something's not launched site-wide until it's actually fully functional. But I'm glad that it's really easy to use and it's working cool. I hadn't noticed that, so thank you very much. Created by AGF. I'm just seeing you little in the corner, so it looks like created by Elf, which makes me think all Christmassy. Sorry, random aside. The new message discount thing is making me want to turn off that option. I got a message the other day as a response to the one that Etsy sent on my behalf saying they don't respond to messages. Oh, yeah. It's it's so annoying. It really is annoying to be constantly hounded for that, and so many sellers feel pressured. Etsy saying, "Set up a discount for this, set up a discount for this, set it," and you're just like, wow. And then how many times have we seen in the forums and everything a new seller that's followed all the advice that Etsy's given, and a sale comes through, and they're like, "Hang on, I've made a loss." What? How did that happen? Which, yes, you have to figure out what all the fees are and everything before you make a sale, but it is complicated. I I've been working on Folksy and stuff as well. It's a alternative to Etsy, but unfortunately it's not really that big. But I didn't bother to calculate my fees. I just put up the price, and when things sold, I looked and said, "Oh yeah, I'm actually making a profit. Go me." So yeah, I can't blame other sellers. And the giant blue sales banner on the homepage are unsightly. I first noticed them in the app the other day. Oh, 60% off and now 50% off. Yeah. Um, I get that some people like sales, but it's almost like it is the major push, like you say, on the homepage, big banner saying 60% off. That's not the kind of people actually that we should be pushing to attract to Etsy, the people who are the bargain basement shoppers. And also that is pressuring the new sellers to say, "Oh, do we have to do a 60% sale?" Thing that really annoys me is the number of sellers that are now doing that. They are doubling their prices and having a constant sale on. Well, it's not a sale if that's your normal price, and check the legality in some countries as well. Um, oh, Tech Pitch. Yeah, I used to love treasuries. Absolutely. Looking through the wonderful items and miss the forum vibe too. Yeah, treasuries on Etsy. Now we have collections and things, and it's kind of okay. People can put together a collection and have your item in it. But treasuries on Etsy were so much fun for everyone who missed them. And one of the I I was gonna say the coolest things. I think a lot of people would find it really annoying. But treasuries, firstly, the Etsy homepage used to be the same for everybody. So Etsy would curate what the homepage looked like. And uh, about 50% of the time, they did that by picking a treasury. Now, a treasury was a selection of listings that you could compile together to say this looked pretty. And often people would do it on a theme, like if they were in a team, the Etsy Scottish team, I can't remember what it was called. Makitsi, why did I forget that? Makitsi were really good for people would curate a treasury of just people from Makitsi. So you could get a treasury of like the best of Scotland kind of thing, which was absolutely lovely. And then if you made pretty treasuries, Etsy would put that on the very front page. So it could have all your team members, links to listings in their shop. And at the very top, it would say compiled by this shop name. So some people that had a really good eye were able to make great treasuries, but the thing the thing with treasuries, it was fleeting. I can't remember the exact amount of time, but when you got a treasury, it only existed for a short amount of time, and there was only a certain number of treasuries allowed on Etsy at a set amount of time. This I don't know, this sounds terrible, but it was really exciting and fun. So what you had to do was look at how many treasuries there were, and when they were expiring to get an idea of when treasuries would open up again. And basically, you had to have an idea of what you were going to call your treasury in your head. And at that very moment when treasuries opened up, you got a little spot where you could paste your title to sort of hold your space. You had to quickly go in, grab your treasury, and if you were in at the right moment in time, then you got a treasury. So it was kind of exciting. I realized that probably doesn't sound like something that people would want to do nowadays, but it was cool. It was like you had an idea in your head, you wanted to compile this thing, and you were sitting on Etsy sort of hitting refresh to be able to get your treasury. I realized that sounds very weird, but it was exciting. And then you knew if someone created a treasury with you in it, they had really worked to do that thing. And I got I got handpicked by Etsy a couple of times on the front page, but also I was in treasuries that were on the front page a few times. And boy, the sales. You didn't need to do SEO, you just needed to get on the front page back in the day. Weird thing. I know, I know. Created by EGF. If I shop on Etsy and search for one thing, then that's all I'll see on Etsy homepage the next few times I log in. Yeah, that is also very true. I get why they're doing that, but I think they do it too much. And it's not well done yet. I know these things will improve. Um, the Facebook ads is the perfect example of places that seem to do it right. Whether it's a bit skeevy or whatever, but you search for something on the internet, and your Facebook ads stalk you with that one dress that you'd nearly bought, and you're like, no, I'm gonna be good. And then for the next few days, it's like, oh, I see that dress again. I see that dress. I'm buying that dress, basically. So Facebook is really good at sort of knowing the things to show you and when to show you. I run quite extensive ad blockers on my internet because it's awful. So the kind of things I get to see from Facebook are probably not as bad as what many people do, but it seems the right level to me. Whereas, yeah, Etsy does seem to be way too much like, you looked at this once. Wow, look at this, look at this, look at this. It's like, yeah, I looked away for a reason, get an idea of the kind of styles of things I like. Compile me a beautifully gothic page for me, please. Learn that's what I like. But I've spent ages, I've spent hours just to do a video, but I thought it'd be a bit fun. I tried to train the algorithm on what I liked by doing lots of searches for kinds of things that I liked. And no, it didn't cater my homepage anywhere really. Um Jill's treasure chest. I always use handmade because I may not want vintage if of a particular item. Now I have to wonder about reselling too. Yeah, handmade should have been easy. Avoiding vintage should have been easier because there are filters on Etsy, but the filters are not easy to find. I'm sure most people don't use them, but yeah, we shouldn't have to search handmade to find things that aren't resellers, because resellers shouldn't be on the site. It's yeah, I suppose that was my argument, was Etsy search sucks. The search doesn't necessarily suck, just stop showing us the things that shouldn't be there. Yeah. And I know and understand that means there's going to have to be some kind of algorithm to decide if listings are allowed to be there. And that does mean that there's going to be some false positives. That is a thing that is happening, and it's going to happen. But I am happy to put up with the pain if it's for something good, like if they're clear about it. If they say, okay, our automated system thought your listing couldn't be sold here. This is another one of the shorts that I made on what I would like Etsy to fix. I get they're gonna have to take down things and they might get it wrong now and again. So when they take down your listing, I would like them to be more honest on what policy you've broken. Don't have to tell you exactly, but not just say you can't sell, you can our system said you can't sell this, link to random policies. I'd like them to be a little more honest about, which policy it is that you're breaking, and also a little more. It doesn't take 2 seconds. A lot of time, people are contacting Etsy again and saying, "I don't think I've done anything wrong. What's the problem?" And they'll get the robot staff or the contracted out staff that will reply to them and just say, "Can't tell you anything. It's just been taken down," and they give very generic answers. And then a short while later, suddenly your listing will come back up again. Um, so it would just be nice to say, "Hey, we're working on making things better. Our system messed up, but we've seen that your listing is okay. So yeah, we're now going to make it make it sort of whitelist your listing a little bit or something," because some people are saying they've had listings that have been up forever, there's nothing wrong with them, and then they change a picture or something and it's taken down, and then it's reinstated, but as soon as they change a thing again, it's taken down. The amber was a big one with that. It's like there's some policies that we don't 100 we know why they're in place, because a baby, I believe, sadly died, which is terrible. And policies were changed, but there's some people that Etsy have told them that they've had the listing taken down and then reinstated and been told it's fine. But every time they make any kind of change to that listing, just changing a picture or something, Etsy takes it down again. And they've got to go through this battle like every time. Now, I suppose you can't entirely whitelist something because people might make changes to make it illegal, but perhaps if someone's item's been approved by a human, then if the system flags it again, then rather than just take it down, it flags it for human review. It's sort of something that YouTube did. This is why I knew there was going to be teething problems with this. YouTube had a problem with basically advertisers not being happy that adverts could be shown on before videos of things that they really didn't agree with. So our videos have to be approved for advertisers now. And there was a time when the automated system was just looking at just about every video and saying, nope, that's not suitable for advertisers. And you'd have to message YouTube and say, what did I do wrong here? And YouTube would go, a human would look at it and go, no, everything's fine. And now they've got in place, if you've posted enough videos that are good and you're a decent person, we have a self-certification that I can now look in and tick and go, yep, there's nothing dodgy in my video, please monetize it. And there is an automated system, but it's a lot kinder now and we don't get demonetized so often. So it would be good if there was some kind of, once someone's proven that their items are kind of good, the automated system doesn't just remove them, it flags them for, hey, can the human have a look at this? Right? Am I ranting? Am I ranting? I am indeed. Let's try and get through all the chat before we jump to Starla. And for anyone just joining, this is the pre-show party for Starla's Make Etsy Human. This is us respectfully asking just Etsy to listen to us. We don't hate Etsy, there's just been some missteps, and please can you do a little bit better? And if I set everything up correctly, when I end this stream, you should all be popped over to Starla, hopefully. And I believe, I should say this as well. Starla is donating the money she's got from a lot of from these videos. Her videos are doing great. So she's donating the money from ads for this. I made sure not to switch on ads for this live stream. So hopefully you got in without having to see ads and stuff. So yeah, this isn't about us making money off of you, you guys. We're all in the same boat. We're all Etsy sellers. We help people sell on Etsy. We want Etsy to do better. Um, Pen and Pixel, the need to verify a seller is handmade before they're even allowed on Etsy. Yeah, that's a difficult one. I agree, but I'm not sure. There were some times in the past when they did that. Some people have had to send in pictures of their workstations and their process and everything, but I don't know. um, it's I was gonna say it would be a pain for new people, but at the same time, almost every new shop that's opened up is automatically shut down. So that means that people are having to, Etsy staff are having to look at it to reopen it. So yeah, why not? Let's slow down new sellers coming in a little bit. And you signed up for Fairy and it's a process to get published. The problem is, and this is good with all these other sites, but none of them are the size of Etsy. It's that is the problem, is we don't want Etsy to not be big because I like money. I like having money. So we do want Etsy to be the large platform it is, but we don't want it to be like it is just now. We want it to be a little better, but it's going to have some automated systems. We've got to be reasonable about this. It's so big that it can't be as little and handmade feeling as some of these other places. And I love these like, if I can find something that's good, I will absolutely tell you all about it. But the problem is all of these other places are not don't have enough buyers. That is the problem. Basically. And the thing is, if once they grow, they'll probably have the same issues that Etsy is. Boutica, I don't. Sorry if I'm saying things wrong. Boutica Diosa. Hello, hi everyone. Delia. Oh, I just jumped the chat. Something that bugs me, if I search for something like rabbit socks, I get a ton of shirts and sweatshirts before I see a single listing for the product I searched. Yeah, yeah. And this is a thing where Etsy's copying Amazon, and I don't know if any of the rest of you find this, but I find that Amazon search is actually really bad if you're trying to narrow down. I This is not me preaching this thing, I'm not anymore, but I used to eat the keto diet for quite a while, and I would search for keto something or other, say keto crackers. And you would go into Amazon and you'd be looking through some things, but on the front page, not everything was keto, but it wasn't necessarily clear. And it's the same with even with phone cases or memory sticks or whatever else. You've put in the exact specifications of the thing that you need, but if they don't have enough, they kind of round it up and go, oh, well, you wanted that kind of thing. This is sort of similar. And if you don't notice, you could end up buying the wrong thing. Now, for me, that would just mean I was out of ketosis. That's not a huge deal. But if somebody had like a severe allergy or something, the search just showing you random things when you had specifically said, this is the exact thing I need, is a bit not good. And yeah, the Etsy search, rabbit socks isn't a particularly difficult thing to understand. You don't want sweatshirts and stuff. At the very least, rabbit socks should be at the very start. So, yeah, and I suppose that's part of the personalizations and things. The algorithm's a bit rubbish just now. A lot of these things will be getting better, hopefully, but yeah, that is a bit annoying. CJ's in the house. Hello there. Leanne, love Treasury. I'm still Facebook friends with many of my former teammates. Yep, same. That I wonder if there's anything that we can do. Well, I mean, we have this. This is the Crafty Clan. If you are here, you're a member of the Crafty Clan, because that's what I call you all. Just the same as if you're with Starla, you're one of the alphas. So we have a community, but I wonder if there's a way that's not dodgy, but to do a little community. So even if we can't get it on Etsy, we can we can have teammates, we can do things, support each other and stuff. But I don't know. I'll think. I'll speak to people. We'll see what we can do. Amanda, the discount code doesn't count as messages. You don't need to reply. Some people told me you did, but yes, I haven't seen them yet, so I haven't been able to do it. Not all sellers know, so they're replying, meaning their reply is the first message and the seller needs to reply. Oh, goodness. Yeah, the whole star seller message reply thing drives me up the wall. You if customers are happy with you, it doesn't matter if you replied. I think this is one thing Starla's mentioned, and it's quite right. I mean, okay, sure, if you set up an automated I'm out of office type thing, you can take the weekend off or whatever. But as a buyer, if I'm messaging someone, the most annoying thing is a lot of people, because they're so freaking out for their star seller thing, will put on the autoresponder. So you'll message someone, get an auto response, but they were near their phone anyway. So they reply like 20 minutes later. So you're getting pointless replies because people are just so worried about their star seller. And although I'm Gen X and my friends tell me I'm a lot more like millennials, I don't like unnecessarily communications. I don't like texts. Well, I like text. I don't like phone calls. I don't like notifications. Leave me alone unless there's a real point in what you're saying. Oh, I'm a grump. Um, Yeah, Delilah. Maybe a bad example, but no, your rabbit socks is not a bad example. If you search for rabbit socks, you want rabbit socks. You don't want rabbit mugs. I completely agree. Uh, Brunette, did I say that right? Just saw the little thing and I was nearly going to say Bernadette, but that's clearly not right. Brunette, lovely. They need to be a little more personal. Yep. Hashtag keep Etsy human, very much so. I hope everybody is posting on their social media and is ready to sit with Starla. Will do this all way better than me. But it's so cool to have so many of you to chat to. This is lovely because I've not been live for ages, so I was expecting maybe like 10 people and no one chatting. So I was sitting going, what am I going to talk about? But yeah, I said I was going to jump through the questions and then get into the stream, but we're just doing the questions. This is awesome. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you for joining. Thank you for chatting to me. We have 6 or 7 minutes left before we're all going to go and raid Starla. If you don't know what that is, if I have set this up correctly, when I finish this stream, you shouldn't need to click to. If it doesn't work, there's a link in the description of this video to go to Starla. But if it does work, we should finish here and automatically everybody land in Starla's stream all at the same time. And you should all say, see, I don't have like when Starla raids someone else, all the alphas can howl. But I don't know what a crafty clan raid would look like. Everyone going and go, Hootsman. don't do that. Yeah. So yeah, what should everybody say when they land on Starla? To say that we've come from Pam, but it's cool like howling and little wolves. Um, I'm a terrible YouTuber. I'm very bad at all of this. I am Property by Ruby. Oh, the scammer messaging sellers requesting the email's been happening very often. Yeah, yeah, I've not made individual videos about it, but in the my Etsy news on Saturdays. We've talked about the scammers emails so much. It's so annoying, but there's a lot of scams going about. Etsy doesn't need to know your email. Etsy knows your email. So if you get any message saying Etsy needs my email, Etsy needs your email to complete the what do I call it? To complete the order. So I got distracted. Yeah, they don't need your email to complete their order. Pretty much, they don't want you to click on links or anything. That's generally dodgy as well. If you're not sure about anything, just close the email, go to Etsy and open Etsy, and if Etsy need anything from you, it'll be on your dashboard. So yeah. Trish, yeah, I wish Etsy would not show Disney items on the front page. Makes me sad and frustrated. Yeah, I mean, yes, in vintage Disney items is allowed, but in handmade, I think the problem is a sort of legal one, but it does annoy me. The thing is, I think I'm not an expert with the legally thing, but if Etsy started telling people that's IP infringing, you can't have that. If they started filtering for that kind of thing, then if they missed anything, if they missed people having my copyright up there or whatever, then people could say, well, I didn't know. You tell us what we're allowed to put up, if that makes sense. I don't know the legality of that, but I do wish they wouldn't. If they had a secret back end that just goes Disney, nope, off of search. um, yeah. And Anna, yes, I love Etsy, but I don't want it to turn into eBay. Yeah. Doesn't need to be eBay, doesn't need to be Amazon. Um, Brennett, you have to be approved for Amazon. That is true for a lot of their like handmade by Amazon, um, fulfilled by Amazon. A lot of the things you do have to be approved. And someone told me the other day, because people were complaining and saying the reserve that Etsy was doing 75% of your sales they were holding in reserve. And people were saying, oh, that's terrible. It's the highest ever. But a couple of people have told me that Amazon withhold 100% for 3 months. Can someone let me know in the chat what's the deal there? Because I'm hearing different sides from different people. And whenever I've looked at selling on Amazon, the fees and everything is so complicated, and I just nope out of there. Aaron, it's like they prioritize possible profit. Too many P's like over relevant searches. Yeah. No, that unfortunately that is the thing. The basic thing is the algorithm. The point of it is to show. It's not even to show the customer what they want to buy. It's to show the customer what is most likely to get Etsy the most money, basically. Um, so yeah, that is the point of the algorithm. It's sort of, if you think of an algorithm like a puppy that you're training, so you've got all the things that can go in, is all the stimulus, is all you saying sit here, do this, do that. You've got what the and what the reward is. Well, what Etsy's saying is it's good if when you show this thing it makes more money. So that's it's like that's Etsy getting its cookie, Etsy giving the algorithm the cookie if it makes money. But very much a problem with that is then it's appealing to the most average. It's showing what the most average person might buy. And the most average people are not really cool, crafty people. We're not the most average people. And yeah, Aaron, as a buyer, auto response kind of bugs me. Oh, I've got 2 minutes before. I didn't believe I'd get through this. This chat would go so quickly. Thank you so much. But we've got 2 minutes before Starla, so I'm going to try and speed round this. Anna, tracks with your theory. that people in the UK and Ireland are grumpier about customer service and messages because we're not used to good customer service. It's a different expectation of what's good, but yeah, we are grumpier. I think, yeah, it's more traditional in the UK and Ireland that we don't want to be bugged. We want to just go about our shopping, and when we want help, we want to be able to get the help we need. Whereas I think the culture's more, I've heard people in America say that they almost feel like you're not getting good customer service if people aren't coming up and asking if you want help. Whereas in the UK, we're like, we'll tell you when we want help, if that makes sense. It's just a different culture. Um, Bad Luck Kitten just stumbled on. Hey, welcome. Hello there. Great name. Um, Oh, Jill's treasure chest. Thank you. Yeah, give us a thumbs up. I forget to do the YouTubery things. Thank you so much. Um, oh, Apple. Yeah, great idea for raiding Starla, a purple, pink, or blue heart. Yeah, if there is, yeah, there is a purple heart on YouTube. So everybody, when I send you to raid Starla in 1 minute's time, purple heart. This purple heart has a different meaning, doesn't it? Pink heart. Give Starla a pink heart to let her know that you've come over from the crafty clans. Yeah, because purple heart means something different, doesn't it? Crafty clan raid. We need an emoji. Starla has a wolf one. I do have for channel members, but I don't push channel members. You do get little stickers, but you can only use them on this stream, not in other people's streams, I think. Yep. Crafting with D. Hello there. Oh, Tech, good idea. Yeah, a Discord server for the Crafty Clan, then we can chat forever. I might look into it. I'm not very good at Discord. Um, and yeah. Oh, yeah. Amazon holds 100% of your money. Um, Bad Luck Kittens move into the UK. Hey, everyone, come over here. We're awesome. Yeah, we're grumpy. I'm sorry if I'm missing anyone. We have to get over to Starla. She'll kill me if I do the pre-party and then don't send you there. Yeah, Trish, rather people leave me out alone, and if I need help, I'll ask. And CJ, you're going to be my last comment, and then we're all going to Starla to give her crafty clan hearts. But your sister is a reseller and they hold 70 to 75% and give it the following month. Okay, got you. Right. So it's a bit different for everybody, but cool. Okay, Pen and Pixel, thank you. Starla is live now. So thank you everyone for joining me. Really, this has been great fun. As soon as I finish this, you should be raiding Starla. Hopefully, if it works. If not, there's a link. But anyway, thank you so much, and I'll see you in Starla's chat.